I'm a native Texan, born in Paris, Texas, to Christian parents. My parents were very private people, not sharing their lives with anyone, keeping things to themselves, and teaching me to do the same. Very little affection was shown in our home, very few hugs, and the words "I love you" were seldom spoken. I went forward at 12 years old and told the preacher that I wanted to accept Jesus as my Savior. I did it because my parents said that I needed to do it, not because I realized what I was doing. I started dating my future wife in 1963, and we married in 1965. Her father was an elder in the church they went to. After we married, he told me that unless I was in their church, I wasn't a Christian. It disappointed me so much that I started doubting that anyone in Christianity really knew what they were saying or what they were talking about. From 1966 until 2016, I rarely went to church, only on special occasions. My unwillingness to participate in family activities and my lack of showing affection to my family caused a major deterioration in my relationships. She would tell me quite often that, I should be in church with her and with the family. It just wasn't important to me to be a part of that life that they had. For many years, I realized that I had something missing in my life. I just didn't know what it was. And I looked in many ways to fill the void with alcohol. I got involved in internet pornography. I knew this was wrong all along, so I confessed this to my wife and my son. Seeing the hurt and disappointment on their face is something I'll never forget. This led to a 7-month separation of my wife and I. We started discussions after a couple of months, I think in August of 2016, of finding a counselor to see if our marriage could be reconciled. And so she said there's a counselor at church that we can go to. Being a private person, first of all, counseling wasn't one of my top priorities to do, to go into someone and share my life story. After 4 or 5 sessions, he recommended that I go to a program called Celebrate Recovery. I was sitting there thinking to myself, yeah, right, I'm going to go in and share my story with a group of complete strangers. And in October of 2016, I went to my first Celebrate Recovery meeting. I got to thinking, my life is unmanageable. I made a mess of it myself. And I need something besides me to correct this. I realized during the first few meetings of CR that my life hadn't been lucky. It was God's love, grace, and intervention. The counselor was put in my life and recommended Celebrate Recovery for the same reason, that God loved me. Since I'd had no connection for 50 years, basically, I really didn't believe that he would be there for me. I found out that wasn't true. The complete opposite was true. When I called on him, I realized that he had been there all along. I'm the one that didn't have a relationship with him. I knew after that God loved me and he had intervened in my life. I made a faith commitment that I was redeemed by God, gave my life to Jesus Christ, accepted him as my Lord and Savior, and was baptized March the 12th, 2017. Praise be to God. I have a better relationship. My wife and I is in a better relationship than we've been in many years. And later this year we'll be married 53 years.